On the table tonight as the U.S. and Iran aim for a lasting solution in the war. Plus, postseason play. The jubilation tonight after Husker softball trumps over Michigan in Maryland. And a summer success story, how one YMC exec was able to navigate the YMC career ranks from the bottom as a teenager all the way to the top. First, we begin with our evening forecast tonight. Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Jay Coleman. From a cold start to the week, we're now seeing some warmer temps that may be questioning, of course, what the rest of the week and your weekend could look like. For an idea on that, let's turn to meteorologist Dominic Farrar, who's in. Dom.
Hey, good afternoon, Jake. Yeah, warmer weather has reached really much of the state this afternoon after we had kind of a cooler couple of spring days here in the capital city. In your your Honda of Lincoln camera, this is the most cloud cover we've seen on this camera really all day. Lots of blue skies out there. Temperatures here still in the mid 70s for Lincoln and 76 as well in Beatrice. Mid 70s for Hastings, Kearney, lower 70s then for York and Grand Island, and a touch on the breezy side too, with winds anywhere between 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now here's where we were compared to 24 hours ago. 12 degrees warmer here in Lincoln. A few spots there between 15 and 20, even closer than 25 degrees warmer than just a day ago here in portions of southwest Nebraska. So warmer weather's arrived. Warmer weather likely to stay then as we head through the rest of your Mother's Day weekend. Clear skies for the moment for much of us in eastern Nebraska. Starting to see a few more clouds then moved in towards north central Nebraska, and then ultimately a couple showers out in the panhandle there as well. We'll be keeping an eye on those chances for showers. Might even see a few sprinkles here in eastern Nebraska for the start of your Friday. More details on that in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Tom. Let's check out some roads in Lincoln right now. This is a live look around 11th and Cornhusker Highway. Traffic seems to be moving pretty slow, so obviously not at that rush hour just yet. I'd imagine it'll pick up here pretty soon. Well, developing now, Nebraska students can now take a shot at out-of-state studies in weather at no cost.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Andrew Ward. Nebraska high school students with an interest in weather now have an opportunity to pursue that in another state. The University of Oklahoma is waiving non-resident tuition for students from Nebraska looking to join their meteorology department. This comes after UNL cut its Department of Atmospheric Sciences, including its meteorology program, last year. We've shared several rallies from UNL professors and students trying to change the NU Board of Regents' mind, but to no avail. Students interested in going to Oklahoma will need to apply and be a meteorology major for 4 consecutive years.
Breaking now, it's official. The NCAA college basketball tournaments are expanding. Both the men's and women's brackets will now contain 76 teams instead of the 68 we've been grown accustomed to since the 2011 season. That means the first 4 round that grants entry to those 4 teams that were on the cusp of making the bracket will now contain 12 games. So a lot more March Madness. 24 teams will fight for open spots in the round of 64. So be ready for the biggest NCAA tournament ever, because this will be implemented next year. Well, new details now. People of different faiths in Lincoln gathering this morning to pray and dine together. Faith leaders and community members all coming together under one roof for the mayor's interfaith prayer breakfast. You can see just how packed it was at Venue 5 2022 earlier this morning. Mayor Gaylord Baird says it's an opportunity to embrace and celebrate the diverse religious and cultural traditions here in the capital city.
When you, as faith leaders, open the doors to local churches and synagogues, or roll out prayer mats at our temples and mosques, or pass around a sacred pipe at our lodges, you create opportunities for Lincoln community members to discover not only who we are, but who our neighbors are too.
Some young poets also got to share some of their religious writings with everyone at the breakfast. Now to a success story you'll find only on 8, a young Lincolnite proving that hard work and consistency can help young people climb the professional ladder.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle De Silva, and I'm reporting from outside of the Fallbrook YMCA on this summery, sunshiny day. And speaking of summer, I'm sure there are a lot of teens out there looking for summer jobs. Well, I just wrapped an interview with the executive director here, Emily Wilcox, and she's inviting teens to come and apply to their plethora of summer jobs. And what's interesting about her story is that she herself started at the Y with a part-time job as a teen. It led her to thriving professionally, and she shared with me what she learned from her mentors and the type of skills that they're offering up to teens like she was. Now, that story will be on tonight at 5 and 6, and you'll also be hearing from a teen that is working here, has been here for a few years, and is headed down the same path. That will be on at 5 and 6. I'm Danielle De Silva, reporting in Lincoln for Channel 8 News.
And now to the war in Iran, the Trump administration is awaiting a response from a proposal aimed at reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero with the details.
Today, some 1,500 vessels near the Strait of Hormuz are waiting for a potential breakthrough in negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Iranian state TV says officials there are working with Pakistani mediators going over the U.S. proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has not shared a formal response to the one-page memo, which includes Iran easing some control over the strait and the U.S. ending its blockade. President Trump is threatening to reignite the war if Iran doesn't come to the table. The U.S. and some Gulf state allies also drafted a UN Security Council resolution in an attempt to force Iran into reopening the strait by clearing it of sea mines and tolls.
We believe in some basic fundamental principles, namely the freedom of navigation for the entire world's economies.
Global energy prices have surged in the 10 weeks since the war began. The CEO of Shell said in its earnings call today that the company will not move any vessels through the Strait of Hormuz until they have full conviction it is safe to do so, which he says they do not. Oil prices have slid slightly in the past 2 days since potential negotiations were renewed.
2 weeks ago, we did see the same situation. It did lead to a temporary drop in gasoline prices, only for them to then go higher when Iran essentially walked away from that.
The administration is framing this short-term agreement as a first step that could lay the groundwork for a more long-term nuclear deal. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Well, still ahead here at this 4:30, Big Red victory. How Huskers softball took down Michigan tonight. Coming up here, our Nate Johnson will join us in studio, breaking the film down and talking about what's next for Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament. And so much more ahead, including the future of fuel, what new potential agreement in the war in Iran could mean for the Strait of Hormuz and the cost of gas right here in Nebraska.
backyard.
And welcome back. Huskers softball beginning postseason play today in Maryland for the Big Ten tournament. Nebraska versus Michigan in College Park for a quarterfinals battle. So are the Huskers moving on? Let's check in with sports director Nate Johnson for more on the Big Red Bombers.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Yeah, Nebraska's up against a Wolverine squad that was riding some pretty great momentum in this Big Ten tournament, having just defeated Ohio State in 5 innings, no less. And right away, they picked up where they left off today, being the first to score in the top of the first inning. Nebraska, though, they would come back with their own offense. The Huskers putting up 3 runs in the first inning. That Ava Kuzak bunt right here, part of that offense. Hannah Kluwer coming in to score run number 2. And this stayed tight early on, moving to the bottom of the 4th inning, a 3-2 ball game until Emerson Cope sent one to the moon. That ball might have landed back here in Lincoln. Goodness, that was crushed. Nebraska up 4-2, and that is where the score would stay. The final of the day, 4-2 Huskers. They advance past Michigan. They will now play in the semifinals tomorrow at 4 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Their opponent will be the 4-seed Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana beating Washington today to advance to the semifinals as well. And we'll have the latest on Nebraska softball in the Sports Zone, and we'll hear from Nebraska head coach, baseball head coach Will Bolt ahead of the Huskers' upcoming series with Iowa, a big one here in Lincoln. We'll see you there. For now, though, Jake will send things back over to you.
All right, thanks, Nate. And now let's head to your full forecast this 4E with Dominic Ferraro. Down.
Yeah, certainly tracking some warmer weather here as we head throughout the rest of the work week and into the weekend, really. I mean, we've seen a couple cooler days, but looks like we're going to be on the warmer side here, at least for the extended rest of the forecast, and especially there as we head into the start of next week. Stray shower possible tonight, maybe a few sprinkles out there. If anybody sees rain, likely won't amount to a few more than a couple hundredths on the rain gauge, but better chances for showers, especially to the south of Interstate 80 then as we head towards your Saturday afternoon and evening. And man, could we certainly use that moisture out there, because it's continuing to stay dry. Here's a look at this week's drought monitor. Lots of red here. That's that extreme drought. That's level 3 out of 4 on the U.S. drought monitor. A couple spots now of that exceptional drought, which is the highest category of drought that they do have. Over 60% of the state is in that lighter red color here. So likely going to need several rounds of moisture here before we start to see this drought situation improve. And I'm really going to be hoping for that here for central and western Nebraska. Temperatures this afternoon into the mid 70s, especially along Interstate 80, then towards the south, 77 in Hebron too, so a little on the warmer side, also a little bit breezy as winds have shifted to be out of the north and west here. Earlier it was south and west, now more westerly and northwesterly for southeast Nebraska. Still on the stronger side though, could still see a couple gusts there right around 20 to 25 miles per hour for the rest of our evening. Now taking a look, clear skies for much of eastern Nebraska, a few more clouds than as you head out towards the west with some showers there for the Panhandle. Those will continue to dive to the south and east as we head throughout the rest of your Thursday afternoon and into the evening. Still clear skies though here in southeast Nebraska early in the day, and then as we start to see a few more clouds build in as we get closer to that morning commute, light chance for a few showers here, mainly north of Interstate 80. It looks like it could be a better shot for a few sprinkles into the Omaha Metro than for most of us here in southeast Nebraska, but it's a shot at moisture nonetheless. Then we start to see some clearing out as we head towards the afternoon, but still could be dealing with a few clouds and partly cloudy skies for us here in Lincoln as we head through the end of Friday, then clearing out for the start of your Saturday morning. It's not going to last long though as we head towards the afternoon. Yet another chance for showers here as we get closer then to Saturday evening, mainly to the south. The models each day have continued to push this further and further down towards the south, towards that Kansas-Nebraska border. But then as we head towards the end of the day, still a shot for a few showers close to the Tri-Cities and then down into south central and southeast Nebraska now a little later in the day and into early Sunday morning. Again, not much of a severe threat with this, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but for the most part then we are looking at chances to the south of us for that precipitation. For your Friday forecast, partly cloudy skies, temperatures below on the warmer side, back into the mid 70s, not quite as breezy either. We'll take one last look at that weekend forecast here in a few.
All right, thanks, Tom. And check this out. If you think you've been seeing some more foxes than usual, well, you're not wrong, and you're definitely not the only one. Some of our Now Citizen journalists who've been noticing them too. These are just some videos they've been sharing with us into our Now Local News at Nebraska Wildlife Rehab, reassuring everyone it's nothing to worry about. They say the animals are just out exploring and looking for food in the nice spring weather. They say they need to stay away though from them and enjoy them from a distance. Right now, the number of hantavirus cases is growing around the globe, and the U.S. health officials are racing to keep the deadly disease away. ABC's Rena Roy with the latest.
Today, the race to contain the hantavirus as cases climb and potential patients scatter across the globe.
While this is a serious incident, WHO assesses the public health risk as low.
In the U.S., 4 states now monitoring passengers from a luxury cruise ship. They went home to Texas, Arizona, Georgia, and California before officials realized hantavirus was to blame for a passenger's death weeks ago on the ship. Argentinian officials told the Associated Press that in mid-March, the 70-year-old Dutch man visited a landfill during a birdwatching tour in Argentina, and officials suspect he contracted it from rodents. On board, showing symptoms of fever, diarrhea, and a headache. They say he likely infected his wife, who also died, but not before boarding a plane in Johannesburg, South Africa, according to the World Health Organization. Dutch media are reporting that a flight attendant on the plane is now in the hospital in Holland with a suspected case and awaiting her test results. In total, 3 people confirmed dead. Testing so far shows the cases have been identified as the rare Andes strain, which can spread from close person-to-person contact.
Given the incubation period of the Andes virus, which can be up to 6 weeks, it's possible that more cases may be reported.
Experts say hantavirus can kill up to 40% of those infected, but there's no need to panic.
This is not coronavirus. This is a very different virus. We know this virus. This is not the start of a COVID pandemic. This is an outbreak that we see on a ship. There's a confined area.
The ship is expected to arrive in the Canary Islands in the next few days. Spanish officials say it will stay anchored off the coast. Passengers will be examined on board and will only be allowed to disembark with protective equipment. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And time now for a look at what's trending at KLKNTV.com. Here's Channel 8's Mark Fisher.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Mark Fisher, and we're back with another segment of what's trending on KLKNTV.com. First up, Monsignor Thomas Fucinero is a priest at the Cathedral of the Risen Christ School in Lincoln, where 11-year-old Mila Gwynn attends. Before learning that Mila had become ill and would be leaving school right before Holy Week in March, he says he saw her as an academic superstar who was kind to all. Medical experts feared Mila was headed towards death. Filled with faith, church leaders around her encouraged Mila's family, classmates, and the large Vietnamese community she's in to simply keep praying. Almost as suddenly as her sickness began, her symptoms began to go away. Mila began to eat, talk, and pray, even sending her school principal an audio clip reciting biblical scripture. Also getting clicks, drivers across the capital city are reporting frustrating delays in receiving renewed driver's licenses, prompting concerns about expired temporary permits and difficulty contacting the Nebraska DMV. After hearing from multiple viewers, Channel 8 reached out directly to the DMV officials to learn what's behind the slowdown. A director with the DMV says the delays are tied to technical problems connected to the rollout of updated Real ID requirements. According to the department, computer glitches cause errors on some licenses during processing. At the same time, the DMV has been transitioning to a new vendor to produce license cards. The department expects the backlog to be cleared by the end of next week. You can read about these stories and much more on our website at klkntv.com, but for now, we'll be back right here tomorrow with more trending stories.
And Channel 8 is shifting into high gear to give back. We're partnering with the Lincoln Bike Kitchen for the 3rd annual bike drive next week. It'll be Thursday, May 14th, right here at our Channel 8 station, located, of course, right near 10th and Arapahoe Streets. Our team will be out in that parking lot from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. You can donate new or gently used bikes of all sizes as long as there is no rust. And coming up here after the break, Pope Leo meets Marco Rubio, the symbol and outcome of their sit-down amid tensions with Donald Trump. That's up next. New at 4:30, Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting with the first American Pope today in Vatican City. This amid tension between President Trump and Pope Leo after Trump has repeatedly criticized the pontiff for her stance on the Iran war. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon with a look at the meeting.
Today in Vatican City, two top American figures meeting for the first time. But the closed-door meeting between Pope Leo and Secretary of State Marco Rubio happening with the big elephant in the room.
I think he's very weak on crime and other things. So
President Donald Trump recently criticizing Pope Leo and his comments about the war in Iran. Just this Tuesday saying this.
Whether I make him happy or I don't make him happy, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And he seemed to be saying that they can.
Pope Leo responding, saying the mission of the church is to preach the gospel, to preach peace. If someone wants to criticize me for announcing the gospel, let him do it with the truth. It's unclear whether the president's comments were directly addressed. The State Department says Secretary of State Marco Rubio discussed the war in the Middle East and mutual topics of interest in the Western Hemisphere.
A very significant conversation that could be really decisive in terms of the direction that things take, or at least the tone of interaction between, the Holy See and the United States.
Rubio gifting the Pope a small crystal football with the State Department seal.
What to get someone who has everything.
Leo gifting Rubio a pen apparently made of olive wood.
Olive being, of course, plant of peace. There's the coat of arms here. Good morning.
Secretary Rubio also met with Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Holy See's Secretary of State. The U.S. State Department says they discussed pressing international issues, including humanitarian efforts and religious freedom, bringing up concerns of the protection of Christians in Lebanon, Venezuela, Cuba, and China. Tomorrow, Secretary Rubio is set to meet with Italy's prime minister. According to the State Department, the focus on that meeting is in regard to security concerns and the war in the Middle East. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now let's get one last check of our 4:30 forecast. Tom, over to you.
Yeah, definitely going to get out and enjoy this one. Temperatures on the just a gorgeous side here into the mid-70s for at least the next couple hours. Still plenty of sunshine, though, just a little bit of a breeze. So if you don't mind a little wind blowing through the hair there, should be a nice night to get out and enjoy the weather. Temperatures tonight down across the state, close to average here in southeast Nebraska. A little bit cooler then as you head off towards the north and west. Lower 40s then out there, and then a little closer to the upper 40s then as you head down here towards the capital city. Then for your forecast on Friday, temperatures back into the mid to upper 70s for most of us here. Though a little bit more cloud cover. Hopefully it won't be as breezy either here as we head towards the end of the work week. Then a chance for showers mainly south of Interstate 80 for your Saturday afternoon and into the evening. Though another warmer day ahead as high temperatures reach the lower 80s. Sunshine returns just in time for Mother's Day on Sunday. High temperatures there still staying on the warmer side into the lower 70s.
And that'll do it for your Channel 8 News here at 4:30. Rod Fowler up next along with our team of reporters and now a citizen journalist at the top of the hour here. Stick with us.
At Comfort Made Mattress Factory, we build each mattress specifically for you right here in our locally owned store. We can even make his side different than hers, backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join. from Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight and only on 8 exclusive, Summer Job Success.
They may be the next executive director, or they may be the next doctor in our community.
How one team turned a summer job into an executive director role. Also tonight, history repeating?
This is a serious incident. WHO assesses the public health risk as low.
What the WHO and CDC are saying to calm the public's hantavirus concerns. Also, from the strait to the tank, Iran and the U.S. look to make a deal to end the war. Why gas prices are almost guaranteed to take a while to come back down to pre-war levels. And coming out swinging, Nebraska softball in the biggest game of the year so far, how they're faring in the Big Ten tournament. That's right, Husker softball playing in one of the most important games of the year so far. Here it is, the Big Ten softball bracket, an amazing accomplishment for the Huskers as they come in as the #1 seed. Michigan took down Ohio State to play Nebraska in the quarterfinals. The question of the day, do the Huskers have what it takes to make it to the semifinals? Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Rod Fowler. A matchup with Michigan, the only thing standing in the way of Nebraska advancing to the next round. Not an easy challenge to overcome. For the latest on Nebraska softball and how their tournament started off today, let's check in with Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson. Hi, Nate.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much, Rod. Nebraska was up against a Wolverine squad that was riding some great momentum in this Big Ten tournament, having just defeated Ohio State in 5 innings, no less. And right away, they picked up where they left off today, being the first to score in the top of the first inning. Nebraska, though, they would come back with their own offense. The Huskers putting up 3 runs in the first inning. This Ava Kuzak bunt here scoring Hannah Kaur for score number 2 of the day. And this game stayed tight early on, moving to the bottom of the 4th inning, a 3-2 ball game until Emerson Cope sent one to the moon. And that ball might have landed in Lincoln. That thing was crushed. Nebraska up 4-2. And that is where the score would stay. The final today, 4-2 Nebraska. They advance past Michigan and will now play in the semifinals tomorrow at 4 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Their opponent will be the 4-seed Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana beating Washington earlier today to advance to the semifinals as well. And we'll have the latest on Nebraska softball coming up in this sports zone. And we'll hear from Nebraska head baseball coach Will Bolt ahead of the Huskers' upcoming series with Iowa, a big one here. Lincoln. We'll see you there. For now, the Rod will send things back over to you.
All right, thank you, Nate. And if you're not in Maryland for the games, but want to follow along with the action, the Now Local News app is your place to be. Our team here at Channel 8 will be posting real-time updates of the Huskers' run at a Big Ten softball tournament win. Scan the QR code there on your screen to download the app for free so you don't miss a second of softball swinging. Well, breaking now, it's official. The NCAA college basketball tournaments are expanding. Both the men's and the women's brackets will now contain 76 teams instead of the 64 that we've grown accustomed to. That means the first 4 round that grants entry to the 4 teams that were on the cusp of making the bracket will now contain 12 games. So 24 teams will fight for open spots in the round of 64. This all starts with next March's NCAA tournament. Let's get a look at your first forecast now for this Thursday evening. Citizen journalist Brian is sharing how some people are enjoying the gorgeous day in this video he sent into our Now Local News app. These golfers couldn't have chosen a better day to play a couple of rounds. Enough sunshine to get a tan, but enough of a breeze to stay cool. And here's a live look from our tower cam here at the station. Sunshine and warmer today, and as we just saw, a nice day to be outside. What can you expect for tonight? Maybe eat outdoors, take a walk. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins. Rusty.
Always makes me feel a little bad when I watch other people golfing and I'm stuck here at work.
Yeah, jealousy.
A little bit, yeah. Really nice day out there. A little on the breezy side, but we all know it could be a lot worse. Sunset at 8:30 this evening. Lots of sunshine out there right now. We're looking at a very quiet Thursday afternoon. 73 degrees through 7 p.m., 63 by 9 p.m., and into the 50s just before midnight. A mixture of clouds and sun in Beatrice, 6th and Perkins. Your Shones Roofing Cam looking at just a really excellent day. Really, overall, it is one of those days where you just want to be outside, and I really do want to be outside. Much needed rain trying to get going in the Panhandle. Hopefully some folks get some rain out that way, maybe even a sprinkle over towards McCook, but most of us in eastern Nebraska sunny and warm. 75 degrees in Lincoln, 77 the warm spot in Hebron, and then some 60s a little further west. This wind speed has been tolerable out of the north and west at 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to around 20. Temperature wise will eventually fall into the upper 40s, maybe the middle 40s by early tomorrow morning. The wind doesn't look like it'll be much of a factor. In fact, wind gusts less than 5 miles per hour through the overnight into early tomorrow morning. More on how warm we're going to get and Mother's Day weekend coming up in the full forecast.
Thank you very much, Rusty. Breaking now, tensions rising in the Middle East amid ongoing peace talks as explosions are reported in Iran. CNN reporting explosions were heard near an Iranian island and a port city. Moments ago, U.S. Central Command said American warships in the Strait of Hormuz came under attack from Iranian missiles, drones, and small boats. CENTCOM says U.S. forces intercepted the threats and carried out self-defense strikes targeting Iranian military sites, adding no U.S. assets were hit. We'll keep you updated on this on air and, of course, on our Now Local News app when we learn more. And also in the war in Iran, all of this here coming as an agreement could impact fuel costs. We are waiting for a potential agreement between Iran and the White House, but how quickly could we see a change at the pumps if that happens? Our Jake Holman is here to tell us more. Jake?
Hey, Rob, what you're seeing here is actually an illustration by New York Times that shows us just how long it takes to get oil tankers out of the strait into refineries and into your gas tanks, well over 30 days. So that begs the question, how long would it take for fuel prices to go down if there was an agreement reached? Well, right now, that answer isn't exactly clear. A study done by Axios says even if the Strait of Hormuz opened right away, it would be a while. Prices at the pump would remain higher, a lot higher than pre-war levels, at least through the midterm elections. You can see here the price per gallon soaring each week in Lincoln over the past couple of months. All of these videos captured by Now Citizen journalists, and the latest at Amoco off of Yankee Hill was as high as $4.19 a gallon this afternoon. Now, we just spoke with an associate professor at UNL about this, and he says the gas prices typically move much slower going down than they do going up, and he explains why. We'll talk more about that here at 6. For now, reporting here in the studio, Jake Cohen, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you, Jake. Right now, Lexington police are warning of a scam that's going around. It's a rental scam. Someone pretends to own a property, but they really don't, and they're asking you to send a deposit or a down payment using online services like Venmo. Lexington police say, first, verify ownership, and then go see if the property is really there. The CDC is releasing new details on the severity of the hantavirus today. People are wondering what to expect now that this cruise ship has passengers infected with it. The CDC tonight is saying you shouldn't panic over this. They say the risk of hantavirus to the American public is very low. Right now, there are 12 confirmed cases stemming from that cruise ship. And while the situation seems similar to another global outbreak, COVID, a WHO epidemiologist is saying completely otherwise.
But I want to be unequivocal here. This is not SARS-CoV-2. This is not the start of a COVID pandemic.
Experts say this strain of the hantavirus is the rare Andes strain, which means it can spread from person to person. But at this point, what we know, 3 people have died aboard that cruise ship from the virus. New tonight, people of different faiths here in Lincoln gathering this morning to pray and dine together. Many faith leaders and community members all coming together under one roof for the mayor's interfaith prayer breakfast. You can see just how packed it was at venue 522 earlier this morning. Lincoln's mayor says it's an opportunity to embrace and celebrate the diverse religious and cultural traditions in the city.
When you, as faith leaders, open the doors to local churches and synagogues, or roll out prayer mats at our temples and mosques, or pass around a sacred pipe at our lodges, you create opportunities for Lincoln community members to discover not only who we are, but who our neighbors are too.
Also, some young poets got to share some of their religious writings with everyone at this morning's breakfast. Stay with us. We have more headed your way after the break and a new batch of stories in our 6 o'clock show, including Filling the Gap. The UNL Immigration Clinic's closure left students without a place to practice what they're doing to give students a new opportunity. And after the break, and only on 8 exclusive, YMCA achievement, why a YMCA executive director is saying what made her summer job a success story. Don't go away. Their April crime stats. You can see here their overall crime cases and accidents are down this April compared to last April, but there were more calls, as you can see right here, more calls for service and traffic this April. Now, you can see that crimes against property, society, like drugs and weapons violations, as well as crimes against people, are all down when comparing this April to last April. Overall, Grand Island crime is down 12%, accidents down 13%. GI police say officers are handling more calls for service and traffic because of their proactive enforcement. Only on 8, summer jobs in Lincoln creating professional career paths for some teenagers. The YMCA is inviting applicants to apply, telling us it's leading some of their staff to executive positions. Channel 8's Danielle Da Silva joins us live at the Fallbrook YMCA to explain. Danielle?
Emily Wilcox is the executive director of the Fallbrook YMCA. Rewind a few decades, and she was a camp counselor at just 17 years old. With dreams of becoming a teacher, she knew the position was a good fit for her. And it was that summer job that ultimately helped cultivate the career she has today.
I haven't left because I just truly love what I do every single day. I love the people that I work with. I love that I get to partner with the school. I get to partner with different organizations in our community. So it's just been really such a fulfilling decision, and I haven't needed to change.
Wilcox started to work with after-school programs, working her way up the ladder to oversee the Y's Child Watch program, one program leading to another until her current role of executive director.
Threw my name in the hat, and they were like, you go, girl, it's yours. So
Wilcox says coming full circle is a pattern.
And something cool that has come from that is one of our executive directors at the Northeast YMCA, his name is Luke. I hired him when he was in high school. All of our directors that work here at the Fallbrook branch, with the exception of one, have all started out as part-time employees.
Current job openings include helping with Child Watch, working as a floater through various programs like swim, something the Y helps teens get certified to do, like Alexa McGuire, who's already using her passion for the pool to build a career path.
Here at the Fallbrook YMCA, I am a lifeguard, I'm a swim instructor, and I'm starting a head guard position this summer, so I'm really looking forward to that. And given I've been here 4 years, I've grown from a little 16-year-old up to a 20-year-old, so they've helped me gain my confidence a lot, and again, creating this welcoming environment that I love being at.
As for what's next,
I love teaching and educating other people.
Emily tells me that the jobs here build skills like better communication, adaptability, as well as empathy. And she also said that a lot of staffers who left and didn't return to the Y actually went on to become doctors and engineers and even a local Lincoln news reporter. Reporting from the Y at Fallbrook, Danielle Da Silva, Channel 8 News.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
After seeing all the videos of people out playing golf this morning and looking at the high temperature today, which was 75, and driving into work with plenty of sunshine, almost needed the AC, I cleaned out my garage this morning. That's what I did. What was I thinking? I gotta plan better here. Oh goodness, 75 degrees though, how about that? Just about normal, nowhere near that record high of 98. It was a hot day back in 2014. Hey, Mother's Day. The weekend is approaching. Rain is possible on Saturday. I don't think it'll be a washout, but still, if you have outdoor plans on Saturday, an umbrella might be a good idea. 80 degrees for the high there, and then that cold front moves through and cools things off. Perfect temperature, lots of sunshine, 72 degrees. Way to go, Mother Nature. Thank you very much. Barry Lawcam looking at towards downtown Lincoln. Really nice day. Just a little breeze. I think if there was anything to complain about, it would have been just that pesky breeze every now and then, but overall, really a nice day. Now the bad news. Here's last week, the drought monitor, and we were first, we introduced the exceptional drought. That's as bad as it gets in parts of the Panhandle, and that did increase in size for the Panhandle and now includes a bigger portion of the Panhandle, and even down here towards Gosper County, Dawson County, even the southeastern corner of Lincoln County. So yeah, things are getting worse, not better, and even some of this here, the abnormally dry, moderate, and even severe spreading just a little bit further south. We need rain. That's all there is to it, and it's I wish there was something I could do about it, that's for sure. 60s and 70s for current temperatures. 77 the warm spot in Hebron, 76 Beatrice, 75 in Lincoln, and right at 70 in Columbus, in the middle 70s in the Tri-Cities. And the wind, again, a little pesky, but not bad. 10, 15, 16 miles per hour, gusting to around 20. That's about it. So the wind speed, not really a problem, just it's out there. Just letting you know, yes, you're still in Nebraska. A line of showers. Remember, we just talked about that drought. This isn't going to fix things, but it's a step in the right direction. We need about 25 more days in a row of just light to moderate rainfall. Nothing heavy, not all at once. We can't fix everything at once, but it would be nice to get some rainfall over and over and over again. So Stormcast saying it's out there, but it's not very Well, it doesn't have its act together. How about that? Scattered showers, a possibility as we head through early tomorrow morning for the eastern half of the state. A sprinkle or two around 5, 6, maybe even into 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. That lingers to around 10 a.m. and then that's about it. We'll see partly cloudy skies, a little bit of a line here, but by the time we get to sunset at just after 8 o'clock, around 8:30, that all goes away, leaving us with a very quiet start to the weekend. A little cloud cover. Remember, I did say there's a sprinkle or a storm chance on Saturday. Here it comes from the west to the east. Not a big deal once again, but the chance is there. So if you have outdoor plans in eastern Nebraska on Saturday, the sooner the better. So there's your forecast for at least the first half of the day on Saturday. Tonight, eventually becoming mostly cloudy and that spot shower chance, especially after midnight. 47 degrees, middle 40s for most of us, maybe even 50 if we can get those clouds in here early enough. And then 77 degrees, that early shower chance, becoming mostly sunny, and then that southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Nice day, 77s, 78s for Friday. I should go golfing tomorrow. I got to think ahead. Remember, 80 degrees on Saturday, Mother's Day. We can't get much better than that. A chance for some light rain late Monday, and then another chance on Thursday, which I think that'll hold off for much of the bike drive, but we're keeping an eye on it.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Speaking of that, we don't want people to forget our bike drive is just right around the corner. Here at Channel 8, we are shifting into high gear to give back. We're partnering with the Lincoln Bike Kitchen for our 3rd annual bike drive. It is next Thursday, May 14th, right here at the Channel 8 station. We're located south of 10th and Van Dorn. Our team's going to be out there in the parking lot from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. next Thursday again. You can donate new or gently used bikes of all sizes as long as there is no rust on them. Right now, Nebraska Wildlife Rehab is asking for some help. They're in critical need of volunteers this summer to go to the Baldwin Wildlife Center to feed their baby birds. Their nurseries require constant staffing. Some species of birds need to eat every 15 minutes when they're babies. If you have any questions about volunteering, they ask that you email them. Nebraska Wildlife Rehab is also providing us with an explanation for all of the foxes we've been seeing around Lincoln. Citizen journalist Bryant sent one that he saw into the Now Local News app. Basically, they're saying the increase in fox sightings is nothing to worry about. This is the time of the year that young foxes explore outside the den, and fox parents become more active and hunt more frequently. Even though they're nocturnal, it's normal to see them out in the daylight this time of the year because they have hungry younger foxes to feed. Well, don't go anywhere. We have more ready for you after the break and a whole lot more in our 6 o'clock newscast, including bathroom bandits identified. York police say they know the people who vandalized a park bathroom and what steps they say they've taken in this case. Don't go away.
Tonight,
Big biking event, the Southwest Tour de Lincoln, is underway. There's one of these rides every Thursday this month. The Great Plains Trails Network takes riders around Lincoln's fantastic trail systems. There's no age limit on who can participate, so everyone can get in on the tour. And as many of you know, our trails have been ranked pretty highly by magazines and others who follow that kind of thing. So another person who ranks highly is Rusty Dawkins, I'll tell you what, and he's here to give us another update on the weather.
Love riding my bike around town too.
Yeah.
It's the trails and just the neighborhoods alone are fantastic. So, and today would have been a great day to ride your bike anywhere with those temperatures in the 70s. Look at that, even 60s north and west. So a very comfortable afternoon. Tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 40s for most of us. Highs once again tomorrow in the 70s, maybe an 80-degree mark here and there, but most of us in the middle and upper 70s. Another nice day.
Thank you, Rusty, and thank you for joining us. World News is coming your way next. I'll have the latest on what's going on in Iran. We'll see you back here at 6.
At Comfort Made Mattress Factory, we